They say justice is blind, but the shadows see everything. You're listening to Dark Whisper Narratives, where the crimes are real, but the faces remain hidden. Every week, we strip away the headlines to bring you the cold, hard facts of the cases that keep investigators up at night. No fluff, no distractions, just the raw narrative of the human dark side. In the cold waters of San Francisco Bay sits a slab of stone feared by every criminal who knew its name. Alcatraz, a prison built not to rehabilitate, but to break. Surrounded by freezing currents, razor-sharp rocks, and miles of open water, the government promised one thing: no one escapes Alcatraz. But on the night of June 11th, 1962, 3 men would challenge that promise and vanish into history. Frank Morris was not an ordinary inmate. Raised in hardship, drifting between foster homes and prisons, Morris developed the one skill that made him dangerous to every institution that held him: his mind. With an IQ estimated at 133, Morris was a master problem solver and escape artist. By his early 30s, he had escaped from multiple prisons. That is why the system sent him to Alcatraz, to a place where escape was considered impossible. At Alcatraz, Morris met John and Clarence Anglin. Unlike Morris, the Anglin brothers were known for teamwork. Raised in Florida, they grew up swimming in cold water, diving for survival, and relying only on each other. If anyone could survive the waters of San Francisco Bay, it was them. Together, the 3 men formed a silent alliance and began to plan the unthinkable. Alcatraz was old. Its concrete walls, constantly exposed to salt air, were slowly rotting from the inside. Behind each cell sink was a ventilation grate, thin, brittle, neglected. Using nothing but stolen spoons, the men began to dig. Night after night, they masked the sound with the prison's music hour and hid their work with handmade cardboard covers. It took months. One mistake meant isolation, or worse. But no one noticed. Escaping Alcatraz meant more than leaving a cell. They had to fool the guards. Using soap, toothpaste, toilet paper, and prison glue, the men molded lifelike dummy heads. Real human hair, stolen from the barbershop floor, was glued on strand by strand. Placed beneath blankets, the heads looked terrifyingly real. In the darkness, guards saw exactly what they expected to see: sleeping prisoners. June 11th, 1962. The prison lights dim. The final head count is completed. At 11:30 p.m., Frank Morris rises from his bed. He places the dummy head beneath the blanket and slips through the hole behind his sink. One by one, the Anglin brothers follow. They crawl through a hidden utility corridor, climb a ventilation shaft, and reach the roof of the prison. Above them, open sky. Below them, certain death. Using over 50 stolen raincoats, they had sewn together a crude inflatable raft and life vests. At 11:35 p.m., they climbed down a kitchen pipe. They inflated the raft and slipped into the icy waters of San Francisco Bay. Then, they vanished. Morning came. Guards shouted orders. No movement. They approached the beds. They touched the heads. They rolled. They shattered. Alcatraz erupted into chaos. Search boats flooded the bay. Helicopters circled overhead. Divers searched the depths. But the men were gone. Officials claimed the men drowned. The water was too cold. The currents too strong. Survival too unlikely. But no bodies were ever found. Years later, strange clues emerged. A family photograph from Brazil allegedly showing the Anglin brothers. A Christmas card sent to their mother, signed John and Clarence. And reports of Frank Morris living under a new name in South America. In 2013, more than 50 years later, the FBI officially closed the case. Their conclusion was simple. The escape may have succeeded. To this day, Alcatraz still stands, silent, cold, watching the waters where 3 shadows disappeared into the dark. Did they drown? Or did they pull off the greatest prison escape in American history? No one knows. And maybe that is exactly how they wanted it. If you're fascinated by the why behind the what, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications.